Hello everyone, welcome to this session. Today we are going to start a new topic which is value added tax, and this topic is examined in section B of the paper for minimum 10 marks. There are effectively three OT cases are examinable in section B, which are value added tax, inheritance tax and capital gain tax. And this OT case is comprises of like 5 questions, and each question is of 2 marks. So effectively this value added tax is examined for minimum 10 marks in section B of the TX examination. We have a few basic things to discuss regarding this VAT. Keep remember, as an individual person earns income and pays tax, that is termed as income tax, and that is a kind of a direct tax. Same case with the company. If a company earns profit, so on the company's profits, company's total income, when a company pays tax, that is a kind of a direct tax. And on the disposal of the non-current assets, if a person or a company pays tax, that is called the capital gain tax. Income tax, capital gain tax and corporation tax, all these are kind of a direct tax, because these taxes are payable by the company, individual person on the gains or income earned. So that is why all these are kind of a direct tax. Whereas VAT is a kind of an indirect tax. Why it's an indirect tax? Because it is levied upon the consumption of goods or services. And who consumes the goods and services? Obviously the end consumer. So we can conclude one thing, that the end consumer would be paying this value added tax, because VAT is charged on the consumption of goods or services, and it's a kind of an indirect tax, right? There are effectively 3 amounts in this area. One of them is net amount, second is gross amount, and then there is a VAT amount. Keep remember, net amount is an amount which is exclusive of VAT amount. Gross amount is the amount in which VAT is added, means inclusive of VAT amount. And for our studying purpose, VAT standard rate is 20%. So it means while performing calculation in this in the VAT questions, we are required to calculate VAT on a specified standard rate of 20%. So on this slide, what we actually learned, VAT is a kind of an indirect tax that is borne by the end consumer, and it is levied upon the consumption of goods and services. And there are 3 amounts: net amount, gross amount, and third one is VAT amount. Net amount is a VAT exclusive amount in which VAT is not added. In gross amount, VAT is included, and the difference of net amount and the gross amount is the VAT amount. And standard VAT rate for our studying purpose is 20%. What next is there? Now keep remember one thing, that if we talk about in percentages term, net amount is always considered as 100% amount. And if the VAT percentage is 10%, so effectively gross amount percentage would be 110%. In second scenario, net amount would remain same as 100%. If VAT percentage is 17.5%, so the gross amount would be 117.5%. And as we discussed, the VAT standard rate is 20%. So if the VAT standard rate is 20%, so it means we shall be using a gross amount percentage of 120% for calculation purposes. Another important thing to understand is that how to decide whether the amount is a net amount or a gross amount. How we can identify in exam questions whether an amount is given inclusive of VAT amount or an exclusive of VAT amount. So keep remember, if with any amount is written VAT, like 200 plus VAT, so it would be a net amount. Another example, if with any amount the word written is sales tax, like 500 plus sales tax, so this would be your net amount, means in this amount VAT is not included. If 5600 plus tax, same, it would be your net amount. And if any value written as exclusive of VAT, so again exclusive amount would be the net amount. And if with any amount the word is inclusive of VAT, so it would be the gross amount. So it is very important to understand that which amount is given in scenario and how to arrive at gross amount or the net amount. For this thing, we have few basic examples for calculating net amount, the gross amount and the VAT amount, right? So in example 1, and example 2, and example 3, we have these three examples to understand this concept, that how we can find the net amount, gross amount and the VAT amount. Keep remember, this formula can be used to arrive to calculate the different figures. Like the formula is very simple, amount given is to be divided by the percentage of that amount, and it is multiplied with the percentage of the required amount. Now what exactly do you mean by this thing? We have example 1, you can see gross amount of 1000 is given in this question and VAT rate is 20%. Requirement to calculate the VAT amount. As you can see that 1000 is given in scenario and this 1000 is a gross amount, means it's inclusive of VAT amount in which VAT is already included. So if it's a gross amount, so gross amount percentage would be 120% as discussed over here. Like if there is any gross amount in standard VAT calculation, gross amount percentage is always as 120%. So simply dividing this 1000 divided by 120 divided by percentage of the given amount, and as we are required to find the VAT amount, so multiplying over here with the percentage of the required amount. So percentage of the required amount, so we are required to find the VAT percentage is 20%. So we multiplied this 1000 divided by 120% into 20%, that is 167. So simply we calculated the value for VAT. In example 2, this thing is same. Again you have formula in front of you. Net amount of 1000 is given and requirement to calculate VAT at 20%. Now how to apply the things over here? 1000 is the net amount. Net amount is always 100%. So amount given is 1000. I divided this amount by 100% because net amount percentage is always 100%. And multiplying with the percentage of the required amount. As the requirement is about the VAT amount, so multiplying with this 20%. So effectively 200 of VAT is calculated. Another example for the same thing, example number 3. Now you can see VAT amount is given in question, and in this example there are two requirements. Requirement 1 is about to calculate the net amount and requirement 2 is about to calculate the gross amount. How we can do that? 500 is given and it's a VAT amount. So VAT percentage would be 20% in this scenario, and multiplying with the percentage of the required amount. In requirement 1, net amount is required, so net amount percentage is always at 100%. So effectively 2500 is calculated as the net amount in this scenario. Using this same information in requirement 2, we are going to calculate, we are going to find the gross amount. Again 500 is given and this 500 is a VAT amount. So dividing by VAT percentage into, now we are finding the gross amount. So gross amount percentage is always 120%. So resultingly, we ended up with the value of the gross amount, that is 3000. So basically, we use this formula to calculate VAT amount, the gross amount or the net amount as per the scenario, as per the things given in the scenario, right? So first of all, we discussed that what is VAT, that is indirect tax. Who would be paying this VAT? The consumer, the end consumer would be paying this VAT, and it is levied upon the consumption of goods and services. Then we also learned this thing, that how to calculate different things, different amounts like VAT, gross and net amount. Now let's talk about the types of VAT. Very important concept. Keep remember, there are effectively two types of VAT. One of them is output VAT and second one is input VAT. Output VAT is charged on sales. I repeat, being a business, whenever a business sell goods or services, supply goods or services, and if the business is VAT registered business, so the business is required to charge VAT on all of its sales, goods or services. So at time of selling the goods or services, business takes VAT amount from the consumer pocket, from the customer pocket. So the amount collected from the customer on the behalf of HMRC is payable to HMRC. So keep remember, at time of selling the goods or services, output VAT is charged, and this output VAT is actually payable for a business, and this output VAT amount is payable to HMRC by a business, because a business gets VAT amount on behalf of HMRC from the customer's pocket, right? And if a thing is payable to HMRC, so a business is required to record this output VAT as a liability of the business, right? Second, input VAT. Keep remember, input VAT is recoverable on the purchases amount. VAT is always borne by the end consumer. It is not borne by a registered business. It is not borne by a VAT registered business, right? So keep remember, input VAT is actually a receivable from HMRC, and if anything is receivable from HMRC, that would be the asset of the business. So for a VAT registered business, there are two types of VAT, the output VAT and the input VAT. Output VAT is charged on sales and input VAT is recoverable on purchases. We have two headings over here: VAT for registered business, VAT for unregistered business and end consumer. Very important points to understand. VAT is either asset, receivable or liability payable for a VAT registered business, because it is borne by the end consumer. So a business can recover its input VAT from HMRC and is required to pay the output VAT at time of sale to HMRC. And any sale or any purchase or any expenses are recorded in P&L at net value. Means in a value in which VAT is not included, VAT is separately recorded as asset or liability of a business. And for VAT registered business, VAT is not an income, not an expense for this business. Why? Because it is always payable or receivable to HMRC or from HMRC. So VAT is not an income or expense for a VAT registered business. But what are the implications of VAT for VAT unregistered business or for end consumers? So keep remember, if the business is VAT unregistered business or if the VAT is for end consumer, for both persons VAT is always an expense. Means they are only paying the VAT and they cannot recover VAT, right? So this thing is very important. Any sale or any purchases or any expenses for a VAT registered business, they are recorded in the P&L at the net amount in which VAT is not included, right? So there are multiple things, like there is registration limit, registration requirement, and then return filing, and then there are multiple concepts are included in this topic. But as we are discussing about the VAT thing for unregistered and registered businesses, keeping the thing in mind, keeping this thing in mind, we can now discuss the advantages of VAT registration. Keep remember, the main and the first advantage is that if a business is a VAT registered business, so input VAT can be recovered. In that scenario, VAT would not be an expense. Why I am saying this? Because we just discussed that VAT is always an expense for VAT unregistered business, whereas if the business is VAT registered, then the business can recover VAT, can recover input VAT, so it means reducing the expense and thus increase profitability. Point number 2 is about if a business is a VAT registered business, so it gives impression of the more sustainable business. And lastly, as I just told, there are registration requirements for the business. A business is required to register with VAT after arriving at a specific limit. So if a business gets voluntary registration, so in that scenario, in that case, business can avoid penalties due to late compulsory registration. There are actually two types of registration. One of them is voluntary registration, and second one is compulsory registration. Compulsory registration threshold amount is 85,000 of the turnover. If annual turnover exceeds 85,000 pounds, so in that scenario, a business is compulsory required to get registration with VAT. But if a business gets voluntary VAT registration, in that scenario, the business can avoid penalties due to late compulsory registration.